G'day mates, it's Donny, and now we're going to be tackling that driver's side engine mount. So we're just going to jump onto the back of the Smart shortly that's behind me, and I'm just going to outline how we're going to attack it, because I think we can just remove an X-frame thing. Well, that's what they call it. You'll see why in a second, and then we should be able to get access to everything. So let's go and have a quick look. All right, if you remember from early videos, we've already taken off the rear bumper, the passenger side wheel's already off. Probably take the driver's side rear wheel off shortly, because it's just going to make it easy to get access to everything. Just going to jump down here, the X-frame. So this is the driver's side bolt that holds it in. You've got the, there's a bolt, yep, bolt on this side, nut on that side. Todd, if you're watching, there's your apology video. My dad was blowing up the other day because I made a video where I was getting nuts and bolts confused. So the bolt is on this side, the nut is on the other side, you'll see shortly. This side's the same thing. So get the bolt on this side, got the nut in the frame on the other side. And then if we actually look up towards the chassis from out here, we've also got this bolt that goes into the chassis rail and another one on the other side. I don't know if you can see from back here. Try and get it. So you can see it comes from the right to the left, and then you've also got this crossbar along the top. Try and get into it from here. Crossbar along the top. Goes the whole way along. That's why they call it an X-frame, because it kind of looks like an X. Makes sense? What we're going to do, we're going to take that out, take the chassis ones out, then hopefully that whole X-frame is going to come out. The reason we want to do that, sorry for the camber angles being all weird, but if you can see here, this is what we're going to be taking out. So that's the back side of the engine mount on this side. Don't know if you can actually see, oh, you can sort of see it. So here's the same sort of half moon shape that we had on the gearbox engine mount side, and then the actual rubber in here. So as you can see, to get to the bolts that are on that side, you kind of need to take this frame out. So that's what we're going to do first. We'll knock all this out of the way. Don't know if I can actually show you, whoops, from this angle, but basically, once we take those bolts out, we should be able to drop that frame, that X-frame, out of the way, potentially pull it completely off the car, and then we'll have full access to the mount on that side that we want to take out. So let's get stuck into it. This is a really good demonstration of why you need to take this rear driver side wheel off. So I've got an 18mm spanner. It's sitting behind. That's on the nut behind the bolt. That's what we're going to have to hold on to try and get this eTorx bolt out. I'll find out what that one is shortly. But yeah, that's why you've got to take that off. You may be able to get it. I wasn't able to. Depends on where it's actually sitting. But I could not get it on that side at all. So we're going to have to start it from there. And that's why we've got that wheel off, because it's just going to make everything easier. Let's keep going. Right, we've hit a bit of a snag. The E18 eTorx that I have is only this small socket drive. So as you can see, I've got the old long bit of metal to turn it into a breaker bar. This is not a good idea, because it will generally break your socket, but things need to be done. So we're going to do it this way. Okay, I've got the bar on. I've actually broken it before. I just wanted to show you for demonstration purposes. So we're all good there. Now I can keep removing it. Now what I was saying before, the reason why you don't really want to do the bar trick is it will generally break the ratcheting mechanism over time. But if you don't have the right tool, find a way to get it done. So that's what happened tonight. If you do have the right tool, better idea is to use the right tool. But anyway, I'm going to keep on going on and getting this off. Right, one thing to take note of, when you do get it off, it is going to pop out and go straight up. So that's happened now. What I'm going to do, just going to chuck the nut. Yes, Todd, if you're watching, the nut on the back of the bolt. And then I'm going to go over to the other side and we'll get the other side off, doing the same thing. All right, we've got the breaker bar on and we're moving. That's all we need. Stop the recording shortly and I'll get it out, and as it's about to pop, I'll show you what happens there. All right, I don't think this one's going to be popping because I don't think it's under as much pressure. We'll see shortly. You can kind of see it's all gone pretty loose anyway. There's the nut. And we can just pull the bolt out, but you would have seen how it just springed up. So the other one on the other side sprung up a lot quicker. Just be aware of that when you take these out. They are in tension. It's going to pop back up. So got that part of it out. Next bolts we're going to do is the ones that are in the chassis rails, and then we should have access to that engine mount. Right, so the chassis rail ones are back to your E14 torque socket. We'll jump in under the car and we'll try and get those out as well. Okay, so this isn't anywhere near as tight as the other one. We're just showing you, so we're on the passenger side now. We'll take that out and we'll drop the other one out, and then the whole thing should come out. What I was going to mention as well is in the center here, there is 2 other bolts. Now, as far as I can tell, we shouldn't need to do anything with those. It should actually drop out without having to touch any of that. So we'll find that out shortly. Okay, so you can hopefully see now on the other side, that was the first crack of the bolt to give you the idea of how tight they are. So you can do that one without a bar. We'll drop this out and we'll see if we can take that whole X-frame out. So everything's unbolted now. To see, my understanding is we should be able to, hold on. Maybe if I took the nut and bolt out of the X-frame before I did this, it would have been a good idea. But anyway, we'll do it now. We'll get her out. Okay, so that's out. And now, as you can see, the X-frame has come out entirely. So I'm just going to chuck the nut and bolt back in. Can't show it in the camera. There we go. So there's a bolt, nut's gone on the back side of it, just so we know where it is for later. There you go, the X-frame is out, and I'll show you what that means in terms of us being able to see everything else shortly. So I'm coming in at the moment on the driver's side wheel. If we jump in under here, now that we have the X-frame out of the way, look at all the room for activities. Look at it all. So much room, mate. Anyway, this is the next mount we're going to replace. So we've got 2 of the Torx bolts up here. And then I think there's another 1, 2, 3 up in behind this heat shield. I think we'll do the same thing. We'll support the engine just in case it does move, as we did with the gearbox mount. And then we should be able to pop that one out, have a look at the new one, get the new one back in. So I'm going to get started on that right now. One thing to note when you're taking this off, the chassis bolts are E-Torx E14. The ones that are bolting into the engine are actually a E12 E-Torx. So just remember, you've actually got 2 different sizes that you're going to be dealing with when you try and get it out. So what I'm probably going to approach it with is the same as before. We'll take the engine bolts out as the engine's supported, and then that way we'll be able to take the chassis bolts out and hopefully nothing will move, and then we'll be able to fit up the new one. Let's go. I just wanted to show where we're at quickly. We've cracked the bottom 2 bolts. There is another one which is up in behind the heat shield, which I don't know, you can probably kind of see up here where my finger is. So if you've got some socket tools, you probably want some different size extensions just so that you can get into the weird spots. That's what I've just swapped over, and we're going to try and pull out that one behind the heat shield now. So as you can see now, different size extender bar, and we can just start undoing. We'll get all of these out, and then we'll do those chassis bolts, and hopefully the whole thing will come out without any issue. So far so good. The 3 bolts are out of the engine, and we will attack the chassis rail ones. Only reason I want to show this now is just that basically it hasn't shifted. So at the moment I do have a bottle jack down the bottom dodgily supporting the engine just in case. But if you're wondering about, do you really need to worry about that? At the moment, it seems no, but let's see when we unbolt it from the chassis, maybe it'll be a little bit different, but I would have thought that unbolting the engine would have made it shift first. So let's get the top 2 bolts out, and then we'll have a look at the old one versus the new, like we did in the old video. Right, hopefully from here you can see the money shot. And that's it, we're out. So let's go and have a look at this one versus the new one and see which one looks better. Hopefully the new one. Okay, here's the new one. Gonna try and show what I can, but you can see there's a fair bit of flex in it, which is pretty normal. It is a rubber mount. Try and show the back side of it. So when you bend it, there is the heat shield cover that's riveted in, so I haven't bothered taking that off because I don't want to for obvious reasons. There is a bolt on the back of this, the same as the gearbox engine mount, and then the welded nut on the other side, so you can just hopefully get a spanner in here and tighten it up as you need to. But let's have a look at the old one. So here's the heat shield that I've popped off, so we can get a better look and have a look at it. So if I move this from this side, you can see it's quite tight, but tight in the wrong way. And you can also see that it's actually broken here, it's broken here. The bottom side of it's okay. A bit hard to see, but if we actually bend it, you can see, oh, trying to get the angles right. It's also starting to let go as well, inside here. So that one's definitely been shot as well. So replacing this one was not a waste of time, which is always a good sign. So time to get this one back in and then start thinking about doing the next one as well. Just wanted to show this. So the bolt that is inside the actual mount, the other side was a 17 mil. This one is a 15 on the ones that I've ordered. And you can see that it actually moves that back piece. So I would say if you do want to tighten it up, make sure you wait until it is back on the car, because obviously you cannot do it while it's able to flex in that point. But it looks like you can basically, in the little cutout where the heat shield is, you can pop your spanner up in under there, and then you can tighten it up if you want to. But anyway, with anything, the replacement procedure is normally the reverse of how you took it out. So let's get into that and put it back in the car. So you can probably see now, I've got the 3 bolts that go into the engine in, just trying to get them hand tight. Probably won't do them the whole way up though. We're just going to get it to, you know, a firm point, because if you can see the top of this, there's still a bit of room between the chassis and the top of this mount. So if we hold it up though, you can see that it's actually going to bolt in fine. So what I want to do is just get these bolts that are going into the engine, you know, firm before we actually put these top ones in, because I don't really want to strip anything. It shouldn't strip anything now because we've already got them in, but let's just get them tight and then we'll get the connection to the chassis rail happening. It turns out the reason that you want to keep them a little bit loose is just so you can have a bit of play to get it up and bolt it onto the chassis first. So I've got them in the engine mount at the moment, or into the engine, just so it can hold it in place and so that we know that we're in the right threads. And you can see there's a lot of movement, but what we're going to try and do is actually get it at least semi-bolted onto the chassis rail so that it's up there, and then we'll do the engine mount ones after that. So I'll try and do that, and I'll do it with 2 hands. Be aware that the exhaust shield is incredibly sharp if you slip your finger on it. That's why I've got a band-aid on my thumb, because I did slip and cut it. So just be careful of that. But anyway, I'm just going to stop the video so I can have 2 hands, and we'll try and get it bolted up there, and then we'll finish it off. Managed to push this into place, and like I said, it actually makes more sense now that I've looked at it. We're going to do the chassis bolts first. Just get them tweaked up. The reason why is because obviously we do have the flex of the mount itself, so you can see it moving, so we can actually then bolt onto the engine. So it looks like it is actually, I don't know, to me it was still kind of easier to have this part on, so the actual engine side of the mount on, and then hold this up and get the bolts started. But I guess just depends. But that seemed the easiest for me. So I'll keep going, and then I'll show you the next part when we're stopped. All right, all fitted up. So you can see chassis bolts are back in, engine mount bolts are back in. Now I was just going to show, you can actually sneak your 15 mil up inside this, but it does feel like it is super tight already, so I don't think I'm going to need to worry about it now. But in the future, if you do want to see if it's moved at all, you can actually slide it up inside the sleeve here, and then you can pop it back out with a little bit of movement, and it'll come back down. So that shield is just an exhaust shield as far as I'm aware, so it's not going to really cause any issues doing that. But yeah, we're all in. So now to plan the next one. So well, there you go. That's how you get in the driver's side, or the engine mount as everyone refers to it, on the 450 Smart Fortwo. If you liked the video, make sure you like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers, so it would be really nice to get there. The next video, we should be doing the center engine mount, which everyone says is a royal pain. I have read though that you should be able to do it without lowering the engine now. You should be able to do it from the front by just dropping one of the main bushes out. So let's see if we can do that in the next video. Hope you've had fun. Cheers.